Yeah, dude. It's like basically it's just like he has friends in real life, but we're in fake life. Just like how we're your friends, audience, in fake life.
We are your friends. Please be our friends.
Please be our friends. We really need friends.
Please hang out with us. I'm lonely. I'm lonely.
Yeah, dude, what's it like being alone in your giant house?
Honestly, considering like I've never been alone in my life, really.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, that's not an exaggeration. This might be the first time in my life I've slept in a house or an apartment with no one else in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird to think about. I'm sure there was a day like my mom was gone and I was like dog sitting or something, but I can't really think of an extended period of time. So like for now it's fun because it's new.
Okay. So you
I'm just
haven't
like
you haven't hit the
walking
hump
around.
yet.
I'm in that phase where I'm like, I'm gonna walk around naked for 20 minutes because I can and it's fun. That'll get boring pretty soon, but for now it's really fun.
Nah, dude, just stick with it. Just never let go of that novelty. Every moment is a new moment or something or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a bunch of new shit. I'm gonna since I'm going home tomorrow. I took a COVID test today, and I'm gonna take one before I see any of my grandparents, so I don't feel guilty about this.
Mhm.
But I'm just gonna fucking go out tonight. I don't give a fuck. There's a dive bar apparently that's like 0.2 miles from my Airbnb, and it's open
Oh
till 9
hell yeah,
a.m.
dude. I was gonna ask, like, what's the going out situation like? So you made
I
one
don't know. I mean,
foray.
it might be terrible. But there's like I just found this place online that had really good reviews, and they're open till 1 a.m. even during the week. So even if it's just me and a bunch of like 40-year-old alcoholics watching sports, I'll have fun. I think maybe. So
If you get drunk enough, I mean, you will have fun, guaranteed.
that's true. Did my
That's the
microphone
trick.
pick that up?
Pick what up?
Oh, wow. Good job, microphone. The dryer's really loud when it beeps.
Oh, sick.
And it doesn't, you'd think, right, it would be enough to just beep when it's done.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how like washers and dryers go through like different kinds of like cycles. It's like for a dryer, it's like it goes through the like I don't know spin phase and then dry phase and then cool phase. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm probably getting that wrong, but it beeps. It does a nice little jingle each new phase.
Jesus, that sounds fucking obnoxious, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. It's not as spooky as the dishwasher. When my dishwasher's done, you got to be here and listen to it. The song goes on for like a minute.
Dude, I don't know what's up with appliances that play songs now. I feel like this is becoming a real problem. Like all the appliances in my house currently play like stupid jingles or whatever when they're done doing their thing. It's like a beep is fine.
It's
We don't need any
scary.
more than that. It is. It's too
It's
much.
the first. It's not, but I'm going to tell myself this because it's funny in my head. It's like the first step to them coming alive.
No, it is. It's they often say that people learned how to sing before they could talk.
Yeah, and then they apparently all forget how to sing. But I
Well,
get your point.
I mean, like
I get your point.
evolutionarily.
I get your point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also just made that up, but it sounds true. So fucking take that, Noam Chomsky.
Yeah.
Linguistics dumbass.
No one is smarter in the world about words than Noam. You don't have to agree with his politics, but his word philosophy, good shit. Also, no one you can't understand it, but it's good.
What do you know about it?
What I know about it is that it's not Steven Pinker and the like lame scientists.
It's the like cool, awesome scientists.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, if you compare
it's not really a scientific view of language. Anyways, go ahead.
If you just look at Steven Pinker and then you look at Noam Chomsky, I mean, Steven Pinker looks like an absolute Chad. Just throwing that out there. And there's photos of him with Jeffrey Epstein. And as far as I know, there's no photos of our buddy Noam with Jeffrey Epstein. So, depending on your political leanings, that could be a good or a bad thing.
This is going to sound, anyone who disagrees with Noam politically would find this take obnoxious. But for those who agree, I feel like this is unironically a true statement. I don't think Noam would have it in him to keep something like that quiet.
The Epstein thing?
If he was like friends,
if he was a part of it,
circle and like knew about it.
I don't know, dude. Chomsky really he does seem like a man of integrity. I don't know a whole lot about like his political
That's the
takes and
exact
stuff.
opposite of integrity.
Wait, hold on. What you're saying?
I'm saying he wouldn't. There wouldn't like it wouldn't have gotten to this point. Like he would have said something before the skit. Like if he knew Gnome wouldn't have had it in him to keep it a secret. Is what I'm
I
saying.
don't know, dude. I think recognizing that you fucked up in the past and like that you're trying to set things right. I think that is integrity. I mean, on the other hand,
Wait, who fucked up in the past and is trying to set things right?
Like in this hypothetical scenario where Noam Chomsky went to Pedo Land or whatever with Jeffrey Epstein, and then he, was like, guys, I fucked up.
Well, but I'm making an analogy to Steven Pinker. I don't think Steven Pinker went to the pedo island and fucked a bunch of kids.
Well, I mean, we don't know that.
Okay, well, assuming for the sake of my analogy, Pinker's just like in that social circle and like knew about it and didn't say anything.
Okay, yeah, sure.
What I'm saying is if Gnome was like at one of those dinner parties or whatever,
he would have let it slip.
And Jeff came up behind him. He's like, hey, Gnome, how do you feel about 12-year-old booty? You have any interest in that? Gnome would be like, oh, no.
That was probably exactly what the pitch was like. Like, hey, you into that kind of thing? You into fucking kids? He does look like the kind of guy who would talk like that. He's a sleazy looking dude. I think it's his enormous jaw. Like the dude had an absolute shad jawline.
Yeah, he had a really good jawline. Good for you can be a lot of different things with a really good jawline. Like all the way from like Captain America down to like pedophile.
And everywhere in between. Actually, you know what?
You gotta have like a strong personality, like one way.
Yeah, no, so I think basically a strong jawline, not to get too into phrenology here, but predisposes you to one end or the other of moral extremes.
Yeah. Well, there's also, I'm pretty sure there's truth to this, although I might have heard it. There's a chance that this fact came from Milo Yiannopoulos, so it might be bullshit. But I think that men on average tend to either be, we just for whatever random reason fall further from the median as far as like smartness. Like we're either on average stupider or smarter than the median.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. At the standard deviation.
But that might, that's also assuming IQ equates to smartness and is a purely inheritable and genetic trait and all that, those assumptions and race science and all that fun stuff that I don't want to get into. So let's actually not talk about that.
Okay, well, this one chart on psychology today does seem to concur with your point. So we're just going to go ahead and take that as fact. We're not scientists and, we don't know what we're talking about, but hey.
We're not scientists, therefore we can present anything as fact and we can't be held accountable.
Yeah, and realistically, I mean, if you're dumb enough to be listening to this podcast, like you're probably too stupid to Google this shit anyway. So you're just gonna like remember this anyway.
Yeah. So we can lie about anything.
Right, exactly. Just make shit up. Just throw it out there.
What would be a good lie to start with? This is like coming up with a bit on the spot. It's kind of hard, but
no, dude, you can come up with bits on the spot. What's a good lie to start with? I don't know.
If we're coming up with lies?
We tell ourselves lies every day, right?
Yeah. I just looked in the mirror and said, Chris, you look good. So there's that one.
Yeah, dude, that's the trick. This is the trick to good self-esteem is you got to get naked and look at yourself in the mirror and then just be like,
naked.
You're the man.
I do that when I'm cutting, not when I'm
You're
bulking.
The fucking man.
When I'm bulking, I put on a shirt that in theory is like tight on my shoulders and then I tell myself I look good.
And then you flex
and then I like hold my gut in real tight.
Yeah, dude, you hit the vacuum pose and just like blow up your chest as much as possible.
The vacuum with a beer belly is such a weird concept. It's pretty funny.
Dude, that looks fucking like that's how you look big though.
Yeah. Dude, I met an influencer at the gym the other day.
Oh shit. Did you get
I don't know if he actually has any followers, but he had a 6-foot long vlogging stick, so he must. He was dancing in front of his phone as a camera, like before his squats. And he looked pretty good. I mean, there are like bigger people there. Like there's always a few guys at every gym, that are just even if it's like a rando commercial gym or just yoked. So I mean, he looked good. Like he clearly has been lifting for a long time, and like I could see it. He's probably lean enough. But the amount of confidence to just set up a phone in the middle of like the walk space, so people have to like get either too close to him where he's squatting, or too close to people using the machines on the other side, and he's just dancing and then squatting and then dancing again. I don't know if he might have been live streaming, honestly.
If he's live streaming, that's huge. I don't know what kind of person would watch a live streamed workout, because that sounds incredibly boring, but like huge balls on that guy.
Yeah. It's just weird though, right? Because in theory, like if you're like filming this for like a vlog, like why would you film like the rest? So like he was clearly still on the whole time.
Because you need B-roll, dude. And you can like cut it in and pose and dance and whatever.
Yeah, real dedication. You'd figure someone who's that into it would like have someone filming him, but maybe he must not be big enough to be able to hire someone.
Or his guy was just sick that day.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. What's this guy's name? We gotta shout him out.
I don't know.
You didn't ask. You weren't like, "Yo, bro, what's your at?"
No. I gave him a head nod as I walked by, but I didn't say a word to him.
Well, clearly he's not even like a real influencer then, because as we all know, real influencers just introduce themselves by their tag unprompted.
Dude, what if we blow up and then as a result of that we make the you know what blow up? you know who blow up.
The you know what.
You know what. I got distracted
out
by
there.
Oh no! We gotta wait to shout her out until we're famous, bro.
No, dude. Then we can prove, if we have like footage this far back, that like that we were real fans the whole time.
But like, dude, what if she like listens to the next episode?
Oh, she definitely
knows
will.
It's us.
Yeah, dude. I still like DM her pretty frequently, so
Do you really?
Maybe.
I like all her posts. I guess.
Do you actually like all her posts?
Yeah, I think she posted today or yesterday.
I believe she did.
It was recent.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I feel like not to get too into a critique of her content, but I don't know. I feel like
it could be better.
It could be better. I feel like the cadence is a little bit low. Like, honestly, dude, you just gotta like, it
needs more like alpha energy.
It needs more alpha, because she has incredible alpha energy in real life.
In person. I know. Yeah, that's the disappointing thing.
Yeah.
So you expect it to be even more so on social media.
Yes. And she like tunes it down for social media, because in real life it was big.
Not how you grow.
It was big Zendaya MJ on coke vibes. It's like the only way I can describe it.
It was Zendaya meets. I started What If last night. It was Zendaya meets the first episode of What If, where it's Captain Carter who takes the serum instead of Steve. So she gets big yoked.
So Captain
and then fights a. Dude, What If is a wild thing. We don't need to go. I've only watched the first 2 episodes. We can talk about it later. And also, you haven't watched it, so we don't really need to talk about it. But like if we thought like the MCU was crazy as it, like this is the first episode is like, what if like Steve got shot or something trying to whatever, like the guy who was blowing the shit up did it too soon, and he's like, he almost dies. So then, and everyone else almost dies, and they're gonna lose the serum if Captain or whatever Carter doesn't do it. But the end of the episode turns into basically she's like so badass that she like takes the Tesseract before any of the other shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
So to make the end of the episode interesting, somehow, and this is never explained in the episode, the Red Skull steals the Tesseract back. He just has it at the end of the episode. And he opens a portal to another dimension where a giant, it's basically like a kraken, but it's not in water, just comes through the portal. And that's what they're all fighting. Oh, and by the way, Steve is Iron Man. Because when Peggy steals the Tesseract, she gives it to Howard, who makes Iron Man before Tony. So Steve is like paralyzed or injured wherever because he got shot. Mm-hmm. And so he can't be Captain America, but he's Iron Man. So
Okay,
it's Iron
gotcha.
Man, Steve Rogers, and Captain UK against a lizard kraken creature.
Damn, dude. Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck?
Marvel gets pretty out there. I mean, if you're familiar with like the comic stuff, they've honestly, the movies have really held back the weird pretty far. So it'll be interesting to see where they take like Fantastic Four and the X-Men specifically, because the X-Men are whack as hell.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it through What If, to be honest.
Is it not good?
It's just so weird, and it's so different than like the whole like part of the intrigue is that none of the individual movies are anything like mind-boggling, but collectively it's like this fun new thing that hasn't been done with movies before. And it's just like the whole concept of this show is we're like, well, fuck that, we're gonna take this character that you like in this role and put him in another role. Like the second episode is T'Challa is Star-Lord.
Okay, that's a little out there.
Yeah, it's weird, and he has to fight with the dude from nowhere, Benicio del Toro, but it's not Benicio del Toro doing the voice acting, and you can like tell, and it's also he's ripped in the animated version. He's like, also in the second episode, Thanos is good because T'Challa talked him out of the genocide. Apparently T'Challa is good enough with words that he talked him out of it. So Thanos and Gamora doesn't like exist apparently, but Thanos and Nebula are like helping T'Challa to like steal this like plant algae that'll like fix universal hunger or something. I don't know.
Okay, dude, this sounds really, really out there.
And I was about to start the third episode. I was like, okay, I've made it through 2. I can get it. And then the description of the third episode is like, Nick Fury is trying to start the Avengers, but a serial killer keeps killing all of the people he's trying to recruit. And I'm like, hey, do I really want to watch this? So I don't know. I had an easier time. I watched Black Widow too. I had an easier time getting through that.
Was Black Widow as bad as people say?
No, it wasn't as bad as people say. It was fine. Like
then you just have low standards.
The second Thor movie is still so much like a lot of the phase 1 and early phase 2 stuff is still worse than what Black Widow was. Also, her sister is like, oh my God. It just like
do you have a thing for Russian women now?
Well, but she's not Russian, I don't think.
Oh, she's not Russian.
Scarlett Johansson's not Russian.
I thought they were Russian, dude.
Well, no, the characters are.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the actor. I mean, she puts on like a obnoxiously fake Russian accent.
Oh, good. I love that.
It's the same. You would actually like Black Widow because what's his name? David Harbour's character is genuinely hilarious. Like he's the previews. Have you seen it at all or heard anything?
I've seen the previews where he's like a fat, washed up like Captain Russia, basically. And
yeah, that's what he is. He's a drunk, terrible father, just stupid. Washed up, super serumed Captain USSR. And he's like, the reason he like ends up helping Natasha in the end is because like the USSR isn't actually communist. Like Russia isn't communist anymore enough for him.
Oh, that's epic.
So he's just like, I like communism, and my daughter, who's not actually my daughter, I'm strong. And it's so funny. And he puts on this bad Russian accent. At the end of the movie, when he's having his like love scene with Natasha, he just doesn't even have the Russian accent. It's just David Harbour with like his New York accent.
He just couldn't be bothered to keep it up.
Yeah.
Have you seen No Way Home yet?
No, because I'm waiting to. I'm gonna, now that I've started, I'm gonna catch up on the MCU.
Okay.
I'm just gonna catch up over Christmas break.
I'm
gonna do it.
Has anything about it been spoiled for you yet?
No, so please don't. I somehow have managed to not let that happen.
Okay. Yeah, you're doing good.
My eyes are like incredible. I have an ability to like pick up that like a tweet or something has the word Spider-Man in it without reading the tweet. And so I can like skip past it.
Just avert. Yeah, you're doing good. Yeah, it's it's fun. It's I don't know, dude.
Oh, you saw it?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, nice. When'd you see it? I want to hear.
I saw it with
Well,
the
actually, I don't want to
boys.
hear, but
I saw it with the boys 2 days ago. The boys, my brothers.
Did it change your life, as was described to me by my Yankee friend on Twitter?
No, I don't know what your friend is smoking. It's a fun movie. I would even go so far to say, depending on how much you like the character of Spider-Man, it's like a very fun movie. But anything beyond that is like, I don't know. But if you like Spider-Man and you like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, it's worth
I like
seeing.
both those things.
It's also a very funny movie, and it really leans into a lot of these sillier aspects in a way that's like very fun. Which I appreciate.
Epic.
Yeah, which is good.
That's epic.
Yeah, dude,
I liked Infinity War and Endgame were like, I mean, outside of Ragnarok, like even though they were like the darkest ones, yet they were also like some of the funnier Marvel movies.
Yeah,
and that's why I thought they worked.
There is something to be said about just like tonal dissonance there, where it feels almost like a little bit whiplashy, is like, well, half the planet is dead, but also like we're gonna keep like cracking wise ass jokes, and it's just like,
well, do they keep cracking wise ass jokes after the snap?
I guess not, but I don't know. It felt, those movies felt to me a little bit. If you imagine their
point of view, the superheroes never lose. So the concept of losing doesn't really cross their mind. So everything's kind of a joke.
The superheroes don't lose? Well, I guess they start making the jokes again like 5 years after the snap happens, right? Which kind of makes sense. It's like somehow everyone's just like gotten on with their lives.
That. Yeah, that would be the only way to move on, would be ironically pretend that you're not suicidal all the time.
Right. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'll have to, honestly, if I was going to try and do like a real critique, I would have to go back and watch them. I feel like I've really kind of like fallen off of the Marvel stuff. I think it's just like the level of predictability, I think, was like too high for me. And
I haven't read any of the comics or anything, so.
No, I'm not talking about just like, not from a comics perspective, more just from like a 3-act structure story perspective.
But I think that critique could be made of almost every superhero movie, right?
Yes, yeah, I think it pretty much could, except for The Dark Knight, which is has a third act that somehow goes for like half of the length of the movie. That movie,
but I mean, in the end, I mean, like, kind of technically, it follows the superhero arc.
The Dark Knight, yeah, I mean, it does, yeah, sure.
And Joker, what I felt like I've watched that movie so many times. It's like hard to tell exactly what happened. Like, does the Joker die right there? Or
no, he does not die.
He just leaves him hanging and then he goes to prison.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to believe that the Joker wouldn't break out of prison.
He's probably in some like federal maximum security. Yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe he got the death sentence or something. Who knows?
Yeah. So
the reality is, I think they handled that like as best as they possibly could, given the circumstances around Heath Ledger there. But
that's true, given that unique nature. Do you think that they shot a version where he killed him on the spot?
Oh, no. Just the Joker was supposed to play like a larger role in what would eventually end up becoming Dark Knight Rises, but because Heath Ledger died, that got axed. Yeah. So they pivoted quite a bit on that.
That's probably why The Dark Knight Rises gets a little too
confused, bumbling, messy.
It's like the Yoda voice, but like deep. I can't do it.
The Bane voice?
Yeah.
Dude, the trick is, I can't do it either. I need a bigger cup. But if you have a cup, you can get some reverb on it.
Like my whole mouth in the cup.
Yeah.
It's an interesting audio experiment.
Yeah.
What's a Bane line?
Just try like the fire rises. There you go.
Can I listen to him first so I can remember?
Yeah, dude, go for it.
Let me find it.
Question your strength. Victory has defeated you.
I can't wait.
Good. No, that was good though. The way he says this bond is armed is pretty funny. He's like, his UK accent comes out like through the mask. But See, the problem is also do you hear the rhythm of it has a little bit of a Yoda squeakiness?
Yeah, no, it for sure does. There's almost like a
It's like
pseudo musicality.
Yeah, but like, but there's like damn. This is really fascinating. I can't even like think of how to go about doing it.
This bomb is armed.
Oh fuck! There's water. Epic podcast content. I haven't axed really anything mid-episode. This is getting axed.
Psych, you thought.
Chug.
This
No, it sounds like Yoda. I can't not do Yoda. I can do that well, but I can't.
this bomb is armed.
That's kind of not terrible. That's the best it's gonna.
I don't know, dude. You're getting there.
Should I keep going for the rest of the episode?
Just periodically, every 5 minutes, like
episode, I have to try and keep doing the Bane voice.
We can set like an interval timer, and every time it goes off, you have to make another attempt to do
every
the
time
Bane
my
voice.
goddamn dryer beeps at me. I'm surprised you haven't heard it. I'm really not exaggerating. Since we started recording, it's beeped 5 times.
You're
And it's still
serious?
spinning. Like it's not done. There, it just beeped
That's
again.
too much
I
information.
swear to God, it just beeped.
Jesus Christ.
My dryer. Nope, I can't even come.
That was a pretty good like
God,
Sith
dude.
voice, though. You sounded like some kind of Sith guy.
Yeah, I'm emo. God, I would be such a bad Sith. There's no one in the Star Wars universe who I would like do well. I mean, I can do the Yoda voice. It would be incredible if I could play a Yoda character just be a voice actor and do a bunch of different Yodas.
Different, whatever that species name is.
Yoda.
Dude, you should send Kathy a text and be like, "Hey, listen, I don't know if you've got any openings for this, but in case you need a bunch of Yodas, I'm your
A bunch of
guy."
different Yodas. I gotta just practice my different pitches of the like like I don't even know. Could I even get higher than that? Probably not. This might hurt the mic. Nope, not doing it. Okay, enough. This is terrible. I'm stopping.
Dude, it's crazy to think about the fact that Yoda has a first name, or rather, that his last name is Yoda.
Very epic of him. That, like, just further proof that like every cool person ever is just known by their last name.
Yeah, dude. Join the club.
Like
Minch
there's Yoda, there's Obama, and there's Hitler.
And they're all, I mean, basically like kind of same deal. Very similar vibes across the board.
They're all very. No, I'm not going to use that word. Very well known. That won't get me. That won't get me canceled.
Yeah, whatever you're about to say. Thanks for holding off there. I think Obama would be much cooler if his first name was Nicholas.
I think this came up either last episode or last time we were playing video games.
No, this was definitely during God. Nicholas Obama.
Okay. Nicholas
I
Obama.
can't stop thinking about it.
Why Nicholas?
I don't know, dude. That just gives me like
Nichols. What if it was his first name was Nichols and his middle name was Liss? Nichols Liss. Obama. That would be funny, right?
That's the dumbest thing I've heard all day.
I was trying to think of how you could break it up into a first and middle name and have it make sense, but there's not really a way you can do it.
No.
So that was my logic for that terrible joke, but yeah, still deserved to be dunked on for it.
I mean, as we learned from another Nicholas who was on last time, explaining the joke, like when he was Nick from corporate. He was telling me about how
a different name. Use a funny name, then maybe the bit's funny.
I don't know. It didn't seem like there was a whole lot of substance there, but he was really intent on it. When he was like pitching it to me, and I was like, and I kept waiting for a punchline, and there was no punchline.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit's got to either get like more intense, or there's got to be like a punchline at the end that's kind of funny. Like it has to keep ramping up or something. It can't just be the same I don't know.
Yeah, it has to go somewhere. You have to escalate.
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 Escalation is the key to I don't know,
victory.
Victory. We'll leave it there.
Dude, speaking of victory, this is technically our Christmas special. I don't know if you thought about that, but we will not be recording till post-Christmas.
Maybe we should just do a drunk 24/7 or 24-hour live stream on Christmas. How's that sound?
I mean, I think I have plans, but like we could definitely do something there.
I mean, family will understand. We've got a
family will understand. We could, however, pregame going out for New Year's and record at least some of it.
Oh,
if we got like drunk off our asses, that's a
great idea.
That might have legs.
I mean, I say this now and like it's not actually going to happen, but I do want to go out like 3 or 4 times that week because once I start working, I won't be able to go out on weekdays anymore.
I'm gonna try
that. That's what Derek from More Plates, More Dates said to do, to learn how to get good at going out and talking to people, is you got to do it more than twice a week, bro. But somehow you're also supposed to like work full time and lift 6 days a week and get enough protein in and get 9 hours of sleep. And I
don't know how realistic that is, dude. Yeah, you know what? If you can swing that, good on you. I think you just gotta like periodize your life where you're like, okay, for this quarter, I'm gonna focus on getting really good at going to bars. And then this quarter, I'm gonna get good at lifting, and then the next quarter, like yada yada yada. You can't do it. I mean,
the math doesn't add up. Because 9 hours of sleep is 9 hours of sleep. And an 8-hour shift is usually either actually 8.5 or 9 hours with your lunch break.
Right.
And even if it's 8.5, you got to consider probably at minimum on average a 15-minute commute. So it's basically 9 hours of just job time, not including like making dinner, going to the gym, any of that other stuff. But 9 plus 9 is what? Quick math, 18.
Yes.
24 minus 18 is 6.
Yeah. So you got 6 hours to go to the gym, go out. Okay, you can probably go to the gym and then get yourself cleaned up and shit, like round trip if you're really efficient, maybe 2 hours. We're left with 4 hours. You still got to eat and prepare meals and do like house shit.
Sunday. You got to meal prep every meal on Sunday. Basically, I mean,
this math barely works. Like
it's pushing it. And who's gonna, if you're going out that routinely? Let me get a notification. Sorry. Oh, it's 9. I thought that might be genuinely important. I thought that was work related. My bad.
It happens.
Not important. Boring.
You're not on the true Sigma grind set of having your fucking workstation right next to your fun station. This way I've consolidated my whole life to one room.
It sounds miserable, to be honest, but
yeah, it's not great. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm vicariously like looking at houses and shit. I go back and forth between like I have enough equity where I could theoretically within the next year like make a down payment on a house and just start on
a whole fucking house.
Not an expensive house, but like I could do it.
Where in theory. Would you want to go closer to where your office is?
No, absolutely not. That'd be way more expensive. It would be like I would fuck off to like Western Mass. Just like in the mountains and shit, and just like hang out and not have to see people, and I don't know. Could be like kind of vibe, but on the other hand, I'm like, I could just move to New York. That could be pretty epic.
You could move to New York.
Dude, New York is fucking crazy. I feel like every time I go, I'm like, wow, this place smells way more like piss than I remember it's smelling like last time.
Actually living in New York City.
Dude, I don't know. I go back and forth. I mean, you did it for a while. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, but I also was in like a committed relationship with a girl who was under 21 and didn't have a fake. So there was no going out. It was just like, it wasn't real. So like I was there for 3 months and never went out. And yet still I was so exhausted on the weekends that like I couldn't, like I was like falling asleep when we tried to like go to a museum or something.
Jesus.
I couldn't do it.
Just because of like the pace of life.
Yeah. That many people, it just exhausted me.
Dude, it's a lot.
Okay. I was sleeping on a couch that summer. So that doesn't help.
You slept on a couch the whole summer?
Yeah, and it wasn't even like a great couch. It was one of those couches that's like multiple chairs connected, so there's like bumps in it. You know,
I thought you had a bedroom there.
Nah, bro. That I was living with my aunt and uncle, and my uncle worked, and I slept in that bed on the weekends, but during the week, he was there working.
So gotcha. Okay.
So on the weekends, he would go home to see his kids. So I had Friday and Saturday night to sleep in that bed.
Wait, and then where was the GF also on the couch?
No, she had her own apartment. She had to fuck off on weeknights.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I don't know why I thought you were living in the same apartment.
Well, I mean, she I never really asked, but she stayed with me on the weekends.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Why would she not?
Yeah, true.
If I'm sleeping in the bed, what's the difference? We put on our own pair of sheets every time, and we washed them, and we washed their sheets. We did so much to try and make sure that there couldn't be any possible grossness to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was fine, I think.
Yeah, if you're taking
I don't think it was unethical what we did.
Yeah, unethical, probably not.
Yeah, maybe. Be much cooler if it was unethical.
You should just start saying that it was unethical.
Yeah. There's lie number one. No, that's a lie. Bad lie. That's a lame lie. I come up with a better one.
Yeah, dude. So anyway, New York is pretty whack. I don't know, man. I saw a guy with his balls out. That was pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Pretty cool. Somehow did manage to not get COVID. Very epic.
Yeah, I thought I had COVID today, but I did a test and I didn't. I did a rapid test. I guess those aren't perfectly accurate in theory.
Yeah,
but it's
something like that.
But I also since I haven't been working for a month, I've been used to actually getting 9 to 10 hours of sleep a night. In the past 2 months, I've averaged including the night I went out, I've probably averaged 6 for 3 nights in a row. So I think my body's just what the fuck is happening?
Gotcha. How was your solo night out?
It was epic, honestly. I went to my buddy's apartment, which is in the city, and we got drunk together and watched the Patriots game. And I don't, as much of a sports nerd and fan I am, I don't care about football at all. But I had a blast just
so weird
talking about football. And well, yeah, I mean the two most popular sports in America are football and basketball, and I don't really give a shit about either. The only reason I cared about them at school was because our entire fraternity was those were the two sports that people talked about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they're the most popular sports.
Yeah, and so I cared enough to keep up with it, but I'm a New England kid, so the hockey makes sense. I don't know why baseball, but whatever. I'm a hockey and baseball person. But yeah, we watched the football game and just talked until 12:45 a.m. on Saturday night. So it was Sunday by the time I left. And I went to this bar, and it was the final hour of it was the last night this bar in this street is ever gonna they were closing. It was it's when the electronics store has a 80% off sale, we're closing store or closing shit, except the booze weren't any cheaper, but people were all just as emotional. They're oh, my favorite spot's closing. I'm gonna party my ass off one last time, as if I can't go to the bar right next door next weekend. But the music, where I come for the music, and they're playing whatever shit's on pop radio. The DJ is crying on stage, and everyone's having a blast. And I became friends with just a raging conservative named Donnie. Donnie, who, by the way, this shirt, incredible. Just a plain white t-shirt with a black and white Patriots logo on the front, and just in the most generic, boring looking text on the back, all lives matter.
Hell yeah, dude.
And his name was Donnie, and he had the greasy Italian kind of hair slicked back with a Patriots flat cap. He was just incredible. And he was all sad that the Pats lost and kept talking to me about it. I'm like, yeah, I care because I'm drunk, but I don't actually care.
Dude, did you
So
did
it
you
was- it was
guys
a
have
fun
an
night.
emotional, manly hug about the Pats losing?
No, but we had a big bruh moment where he's like, yo, I'm gonna bring this chick home. I'm bringing this chick home. And he kept saying it in my ear. I'm like, okay, dude. Yeah, dude. And then the chick comes up to me. She's like, what he's saying. And this kid had a look of fear that I've never seen in another man's eyes. Like it was like that kind of thing happens pretty frequently where dudes are like, they're drunk and they're like talking to their up and like, yeah, I'm bringing this chick home. And the chick like sees it and she's like, what did he say? Like it's not like uncommon, but he genuinely looked terrified, like on the verge of tears at whether he was going to be honest. And I was like, well, no, we were just talking about how it was a tough Pats loss. And I was drunk, so I probably made it up. But like, I thought I saw a tear come out of his eye. He was so happy.
No, dude, you probably did. I'm sure you did see a tear.
He was blackout. He was on another, like he couldn't stand up straight. So it's certainly possible. Donnie.
I gotta be honest. When you said that his name was Donnie, I immediately pictured like a 40-plus-year-old man.
No, he was younger than me.
Damn,
I'm pretty sure he had a face.
Crazy, dude.
I think he was like 20 or 19.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I can't. It's so crazy to me going out and there's like people younger than me out. It's a very uncomfortable
All of a sudden,
feeling.
I feel like an old creep. Like forever, I wanted to like not be young so I could like not be a loser. But now I'm like talking to people who are 21 and 20 and I'm 25 and I'm like, am I a creep right now? Like, is this weird of me? I don't think I'm really in creep territory yet, but still, I mean, I'm beginning to think it. And I'm like, shit, well, what was the good age? Was there a
the truth is we missed the good age, dude. We lost it due to COVID. That's what happened.
Fucking Christ. You're right. 24 would have been it for me.
24.
I would have killed it.
Yeah.
At 24.
But no, it's
That's
all
perfect.
gone and you're never going to get it back. 1 year
What's
out
crazy
of college
is in my
you're
head,
working your first
24
job.
doesn't come with any of the creep that 25
No.
does. 25
Yeah.
sounds like a real adult.
Right, because it passes over into, I think subconsciously we all round to increments of 5 because we got 5 fingies. So when if you're less than 25, you're 20.
Unless
If
you're my name is Inigo Montoya. Whatever you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, wait, how old was Inigo Montoya?
Well, no, but just he's like you finding the man with 6 fingers.
Oh, right. Oh, fuck, gotcha. Okay. It was a major plot point. That was like Inigo Montoya is just past 25 and he shows up and Buttercup's like, you're such a creep, dude. Like,
yeah, that happened.
like, are you serious?
That movie's incredible, by the way.
God, I gotta rewatch
funny.
that, dude.
Marriage. The line that genuinely makes me I can't physically stop myself from just dying is the what's his name, Andre the Giant. They're on their, I only remember the end of it, but the rhyming bit,
Goes, anyone want a
little
peanut?
short, yeah, the little short, no more rhyming, I mean it. Anybody want a peanut? It kills me. It kills me. Anyways, back to your more interesting story. Fuck, I hope I didn't make you lose.
I completely don't remember about it. No, but the point is
so much more interesting. Oh,
the point is, you
5
missed me.
fingies.
You're over the hill. If you're under 25, you're 20. If you're over 25, you're 30. You're 30 now.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Maybe I'm like bro sciencing in my head, but I think that actually like I think that's like real shit.
Yeah, dude, that's real shit.
True. I think that's true.
I don't want to.
25 to 30 is like you should be like you should be working and like you're finding the person you're gonna like marry and all that shit and like
yeah,
you're like beginning all your adult shit and you're like buying a house. So I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah, that's fucking
stupid. The only thing I have for me is that I look younger than I am. No one because I'm in this weird thing where I'm like, am I creep for being 25 and talking to 20-year-olds? But also like no one believes I'm 25, so they think I'm like a creep trying to pretend I'm older than I am.
No, guys, I'm actually 25. I was gonna say I didn't want to offend you or anything, but also fuck you. You could easily say you're 22 and no one would like bat an eye.
I think I could. If everyone around, if the lights are dark and everyone around me has had a few drinks,
Mm-hmm.
it would take some convincing. I don't think that they would buy it right away, but I think that I could get people to genuinely believe I'm 19 if I fully shaved.
Yeah, I think
I think I could.
Right. Yeah, I think he could.
And maybe if my hair was a little bit longer and like a little bit messier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fully just. I mean, not that I can really grow facial hair, but I've got a little bit of like stubble on my neck, like completely clean shave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could do it. But yeah, I think your average person who sees me on the street goes 22, 21, maybe 23, probably 20 to 22. But then again, people who I work with, like my all the jobs I've had in the past year and a half, 50% or so of the people like ask me like how high school is going. So
Jesus, yeah, but how old are they? Are they like boomers?
No. I mean, they're like 50-year-olds. Like at that point, like no, I'm not concerned about that. But the other thing is like it's gonna be lit when I'm 28 and look 24. Like that's gonna be nice.
Dude, that's key. Yeah. If you're in good shape when you're 28. But on the other hand, the guys who got like the gut going on,
they fuck.
Yeah, dude, the dad bod. I mean, but that's true in college as well. Like those guys fuck. Like the guys in college I knew who had the most sex all had dad bods. That can't be a coincidence.
Yeah, well, it's because they spend their time talking to women.
Not going to the gym and fucking counting their macros or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever I was doing.
Exactly. Do you follow the person who was in our fraternity who dropped out, whose name starts with F? You know what I'm talking. He was in your pledge class. He dropped out because his big, who was a very iconic character.
Yes.
Do you follow his Instagram?
Yeah.
Like he's like ripped, and like his story every day is like his like pre-made meals and like he's like chicken and shit. But I don't think, just based off what I'm seeing on Instagram, I don't think he has sex.
He may or may not. It seems like his life really does revolve around like meal prep and work.
I mean, he was always asking the Noah how to talk to women. So
okay, yeah, that's a bad sign right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible in theory that he's learned, but also, you know, COVID has socially stunted us all.
He wouldn't even go to. I mean, what's crazy is that the dude is like, he definitely looks probably better than all three of us,
possibly combined.
Yeah, but like, he would like even we would like at least go out. Like he would just stay in on Friday nights and play 2K.
Yeah, because he didn't want to.
That's true.
He's the true Nietzschean Ubermensch. He's playing by his own rules. Cool. He's moved beyond based and cooked.
He is. What's past based?
No, dude, it's not like better than based. It's like you know how Nietzsche wrote Beyond Good and Evil or whatever.
Yeah.
It's based and cut is good and evil for the 21st
Same shit, right?
Yeah, bingo. Pepe is dead. And we have killed him.
Dude, speaking of dead, when I was making our social medias today, I was thinking of making the location Kakistan. I was like, no, that is so not funny anymore. At all.
That would have been really funny in 2015. Unfortunately,
I was like, wait a minute, no, this is cringe. I'm a big fan of the intellectual Dark Knights. I fuck with it.
I think that's really good. I'm frankly shocked that no one has.
Like, I feel like that, like I can't be the first one. It just like popped into my head, and I was like, okay, there's no way I just thought of that. Like, I definitely just like heard it somewhere, and I'm probably stealing it. But as is the case with our artwork, like that's theory. If we blow up, we could get sued. I don't know the rights to that shit, but whatever.
No, we can always just.
Who owns the rights to Pepe? I don't know. Anybody?
Yeah, it's some guy who made the comic, right?
Shit,
dude, you don't know the Pepe lore. Pepe comes from a comic where he's a frog character named Pepe, and the original like image of him is saying like feels good man, and then 4chan just like took that and ran with it, and they made feels bad man, and they made all these variations of Pepe, and that started in like 2006 or something. So Pepe is like ancient. Damn. An ancient meme.
So the guy might just be dead, dude. He might not even be on the internet.
He's probably not even on the internet. No, because
people who like made famous shit before the internet like are fucked because the copyright rules don't carry over. It's like the guy who made "Never Gonna Give You Up." Whatever.
Dude, poor Rick
The fuck's the name
Astley.
of that song? Yeah. Yeah, apparently I saw online that he's made like less than 10K in his life
Yeah.
for that song.
It's a bummer, dude. He released some song like within the past few years, though.
That's cringe.
It's crazy to me that like there aren't more like gimmicky songs with Rick Astley features on them.
Yeah, I feel like he could make a lot of money now by like just like doing like gimmick songs for people.
Dude, I feel like he could really spice up like a Doja Cat track.
Hell yeah.
I feel like that could work.
He should have
Doja Cat, call
he
me.
should have had a what was the name of the guy who did Gangnam Style?
Psy.
Yeah, I remember. What was his follow-up to Gangnam Style? Do you remember what it was called?
I don't remember. I know he had one and everyone was just kind of like, eh.
I kind of almost liked the follow-up as a song more, but I mean, obviously not as funny as the first one.
Gangnam
But
Style
if the
was
second
still a
one
good
had been
song.
featuring Rick Astley,
Dude,
probably would have gotten just as many views.
probably killed it.
Yeah, that would have been incredible. Like featuring like Rick Astley and what, like Jay-Z.
Now that's a fucking song right there, dude.
Yeah.
That would be god tier.
No, fuck Jay-Z. It would be Drake, dude. Drake fucks.
Dude, Drake fucks. Drake absolutely fucks. I don't know why Drake always really has presented the image to me of a guy who wants the world to know that he fucks. And I mean, he definitely does, but like perhaps not as much as he wants us to think.
Yeah, there's a certain level of famous where if you like, because no matter what, when you're famous, right? Like sex is easy. You can have sex whenever you feel
Yeah.
like it. But when you reach a certain, when you're like when a bunch of different things come together, like one, Drake's a pretty good looking guy. Two, he does music for a living. He's a famous musician. Like that's an inherently like sort of attractive thing. Like there's so many things coming together to be like, this is like peak guy who can just have as much sex as he, like when you've reached that level, it's like, then when you're at a point where like any 20-year-old girl on the planet would fuck you, like advertising that you have sex isn't cool anymore.
It's like, all right, dude, like we get it. We're over it. Can't you be over it?
Yeah. Yeah. But apparently he doesn't have as much sex as Pete Davidson.
Dude,
So,
that's the key. I guess if you're funny, like that's it. That's all there is to it.
Funny and like what's crazy, the super skinny like emo look where you've like got abs but also have never lifted.
Yeah.
Is so like your abs are like flat with your like non-existent chest is like a look. And you get some tats on there and you have like an emo haircut. And
yeah, the tats are key. Yeah. Or even if you don't want to get the emo haircut, just get a buzz cut and have bad facial hair.
Ugh.
And like tattoos. And like an eyebrow ring.
I feel like I should get a tattoo. Make me not be as lame.
It will make you cooler. Like virtually guaranteed it will make you cooler.
If I get like an arm sleeve, like on just one arm, it'll make that arm look bigger, right?
I don't. It depends. Short answer.
It might make the other arm look bigger.
Well, it depends on like how it highlights like the contours of the muscles in your arm, right?
Because it's dyed.
Size is an illusion.
Where all my veins are just blue skin.
Oh, dude, that'd be sick. If you just got like your veins tattooed on and you just have one ultravascular arm.
That would be sick. Dude, it's like Thor lightning, but I'm Chris, I don't know, Chris Thunder.
Chris. Quick, copyright that.
Cringe Chris. Yeah.
No, dude, here's the trick is you got to buy a pack of like temporary tattoos and that are just astrological signs. Yeah. And just rotate them out based on the girl that you're seeing at the moment. You got to figure out what her sign is.
Phenomenal idea.
And then like when shirts come off and it's just like, oh, like, hey, look, this is like.
No, I'd have to get it somewhere where she could, because the whole point is to help me get to the point where the shirt's
Oh,
off.
gotcha.
In theory,
gotcha.
when the shirt's off, right? Like you'd have
It doesn't
to
matter,
really,
right?
You'd have to really fuck up to.
But then you got it like
keep
hook on.
going.
Yeah. True. The problem here is that like you have to be able to pivot very quickly. You have to be able to figure out what her sign is, which isn't that hard because they'll fucking tell you. And then figure out how you can get the, first of all, I don't know, it's like complimentary sign, whatever, like on you as fast as possible.
My like haha like dating app thing that like I pretend to like just like randomly like I pretend to like be like, hey, I bet I could guess what month you're born in, and like I'll guess and I'll be wrong or whatever, and they'll be like, no, I'm born in this month. And then like when we meet up, I'll just have like their astrological sign tatted on me.
That's
like,
good.
Yeah. What I'll say is, here's what I'll say, because then it'll make it look like I'm not just doing it for it. I'll pretend to be like, I bet I can guess what month you're born in. And then I'll get it wrong and I'll be like, okay, what's your actual birth month? Shit, where was I going? I had another way to make it clear that I wasn't. I'll be like, oh, no way. That's my birthday too. That's when my birth month is too. And so that would be the reason for me having that tatted on me when we see each other in person.
No, because you don't want the same sign. You want the sign that like you want like the complimentary. I don't fucking know how astrology works. I mean, I'm bullshitting this, right? But I think there's like
right. I can be like, oh no shit, I'm the one that goes with that.
Yeah, I'm the whatever. It's like Pokemon, how they like counter each other.
Cancer to you.
I'm Cancer. I'm your Cancer.
I'm your Cancer.
Babe, listen.
Dude, I wish we could get rid of astrology and go back to like Chinese animals based on year. So much simpler.
So, well, yeah.
I always remember that I'm a donkey. Easy money.
You're an ass.
I'm an ass. And that plays with women. When they're drunk, they want an asshole. I'm an ass.
Right, exactly.
I'm an ass.
Like, hey, babe.
Dude, so Saturday night, I went home with a chick named Apple. She fell asleep immediately. Donnie being like, I'm an asshole. I'm a jerk. Like, why do you keep talking to me? I'm an asshole. My name's Donnie. I'm an asshole. Goes home with Emily. And well, they were like aggressively making out like on the fucking dance floor. So they definitely got it going when they got home. Look who wins, Mr. Donnie. So, but then again,
dude, you got cucked by Donnie.
Then again, he was clearly conservative, and I'm not.
And that definitely pulls in this environment, unless you go to a college campus and you have some kind of like.
Surprisingly, on dating apps, I've seen a fair amount of Catholic women.
Ugh.
Not even kidding. Like, I don't know why.
Gross.
Well, I guess Irish. There's a lot of Irish.
There's a lot of Irish and Italians. The Catholic density in Boston is out of control. Not that you live in Boston, but if you did.
But if hypothetically speaking, I lived in Ireland. Dude, if I lived in Ireland, that would be so much cooler.
You have to learn more about
Ireland.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I could probably digest beer much better.
Yeah, you probably could, and you'd get way more fucking red.
Fucking timeout. I'm an idiot. I'm German and Scottish. I should be fine on the beer front.
Yeah, I think you're good, dude. I don't think it gets any better than this.
Can't blame my ancestry. I'm just a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're just a pussy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. But in order to keep up with the Catholicism, you got to learn more about like theology and like the doctrine of the Trinity, et cetera, et cetera.
Philosophy of religion, bro. I'm good.
That's what girls want to talk about.
Yeah, exactly, dude. They want to talk about the what's it called?
The Reformation.
The fallacy of like the three big things about God. There's some like name for it, but it's like, how can a being be
benevolent,
powerful, and all benevolent, and yet there's evil in the world? Yeah, that like, ooh, gotcha, philosophy, bro. And then people are like, well, my cigar in my mouth.
No, you're just gonna
Shapiro with my cigar in my mouth. Well, no, big part of God being all benevolent is he had to give humans free will, and that's why there's evil in the world. Look at me.
What a cop-out answer to that question, by the way. I don't know anything about truly a cucked answer.
And all-powerful, remind you, all-knowing. Also, by the way, all-powerful and all-knowing in and of themselves are contradictory.
How so?
If you're all-knowing, then you can't change the future because you know everything as it's going to occur. And if you're all powerful, then you should be able to change whatever you fucking want. So those two things don't go hand in hand. And all-knowing being contradicts any notion of free will.
Well, maybe it's not all. Well, maybe God's not all-knowing in an intertemporal sense. That we have to assume that's. Yeah, but that implies that God shares in some way our perception of time. That doesn't make any sense. In addition to the fact it doesn't align with some Christian doctrines.
Regardless of how you view it, I think. I mean, I know that there are philosophers out there who be like, you made it too simple, bro. It's not that simple. It's never that
Fuck
simple.
you. We don't care.
If it was that simple, non-philosophers could like talk about it. And like,
and they can't.
We can't let that happen. We can't let that happen.
Yeah.
No, they can't.
They do the thing that fucking Sheev does when he's electrocuting himself. He's like, I'm weak. My arguments are weak.
And then they throw out like a fake made up philosophy word. Like they'll throw out fucking like, I don't know. Like, no, but you're not considering the nominal truth. And then it'll be the fucking unlimited power.
Like, what the Yeah, dude. Sometimes it seems like you philosophy fuckers have just like a series of smoke bombs that you keep up your pockets that you just selectively deploy, and then it's like, all right, well, I don't know how to argue with this anymore because I'm just too stupid.
Here's the trick, right? Any big issue, whether it be ethics, epistemology, whatever, you just make up a lot of words and define them however you want to. So then the only people who can have conversations about them are philosophers who are familiar with the literature and have done the reading on those words. So you're creating like a language which uses enough words to make it not understandable to those who don't study it, but uses enough words to make it sound like it's the same language, such that people who are listening to it can like hear the words and make them out, so that it makes them inherently feel stupid, even when the concepts you're talking about, regardless of how simple or complex they are, they don't know what you're talking about. And then you can always sound like a genius no matter what.
Off the top of your head, what do you think is the most like the simplest concept with the most comparatively complex terminology in philosophy?
Oh boy. Ooh, man, I wish I could have given an answer back when I was actually, because I haven't done anything with my philosophy in 2 years almost. What sounds super what do we? I mean, this might be a bad answer, but one answer to that could be that the words objective and subjective, as they're used like colloquially in the English language, don't mean the same thing in philosophy. Objective has 3 separate meanings. And things which are subjective can be objective in a sense in philosophical language, depending on whether you're talking about like ethics or epistemology or whatever. A phrase like an objective subjective experience gets thrown around a lot, which colloquially, right, would sound like an inherent contradiction.
Yeah, what does that mean?
In other words, you're getting at what someone's trying to get at. If maybe they're bringing that up, would be something like, when they're talking about truth or something, we're talking about the nature of the fact that people experience things differently, and but that part of anyone's notion of truth might be. Or part of an understanding of what it means to say that something is true has to take into account the nature of subjective experience of the world around us. So the subjectiveness with which we experience things is objective.
Okay.
It's objective that we experience things subjectively would be sort of the not quite right way to say it, but maybe the easiest way to say it.
Okay.
Like that it's objective that we experience things subjectively. But like that's like that might be brought up in a way of like in certain contexts that could defend postmodernism. In other contexts, it could defend compatibilism with where someone's saying that both free will and determinism are both things which are compatible. And so anyways, that might maybe that's one of the first ones that comes to my mind, I guess, is just that we'll be like, hey, you, everyone, Merriam-Webster dictionary. Yeah, it's cool that you've got an agreed upon definition of objective that everyone in the world uses, but no, you're wrong. It actually means 3 different things which are not related to the one definition that everyone else knows.
So how did that come to be? Is it just like people just getting increasingly?
It's because philosophers think that no one else know what they're talking about when they use the word true. So they're like, well, inherent in everyday person's use of the word objective is an incorrect view of the notion of truth. And so therefore, when they use the word objective, they might as well be saying blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's like, okay, all right, sure.
Yeah.
So basically, you just think we're all dumbasses.
Yeah.
Just wandering around like lemmings off the cliff.
And you can imagine when it's sort of like a cult, right? I mean, when you're only surrounded by people who believe that, then it's like, oh shit, yeah, no, it's obvious. They've all got it wrong. And it's sort of, I mean, I'm being unfair, right? I'm totally straw manning here, but like because it sort of is like an interdisciplinary problem.
Yeah.
Where sort of to some extent, a lot of different disciplines,
like the field of knowledge gets so encapsulated that they can't.
Yeah, it's someone in Soch might say that a traditional or like the econ that you study is not an accurate depiction in that I don't know. I mean, I'm not a Soch major, so I couldn't.
Sure. No, but I
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, colloquially, it's just the disciplines have gone so far up their assholes, they're now looking at their own throats.
Yeah. And like maybe like an econ major might say something like Soch is just like Soch is a humanities, like it's a subjective or whatever, and like a Soch major might say no, like this is like the science of groups of people, like this is a science, and like
I don't know, dude. I feel like maybe it's just like Twitter pissing me off, but a lot of the critiques I see leveled at like economics or whatever are very just like, have you actually like read any of the literature in the past like 20 years? But whatever. I hope, at least I saw some of it, a general trend in academia of things becoming increasingly like cross-disciplinary. And I hope that continues. And I hope those just weren't like fluke writings that my libcuck professors just introduced me to, which is entirely possible. But hey, I think good things happen when you get your head out of your ass.
One of my, not that it's simple in any way, but compared to a lot of other solutions, thing that maybe you could convince someone is a simple solution. I think that econ and philosophy should be required to go together. And that might sound crazy, but I think that the two need to go together. I think I missed out a lot by not taking more econ courses in my view of the economic system around the world and how that views every philosophical issue and how that contextualizes the way we think of everything. And I do think that some econ majors miss out a lot by assumptions that are made in an econ course. So I think that the two would go hand in hand together really well. And it's not to say necessarily that your opinion would be different than what it is, but you might have a little bit of a different perspective on how you view it from just a non-economics background. So,
I very well might. I think the real big pitfall there is like in a lot of courses, they just kind of talk about utility and it's just kind of like thrown out there, which is this kind of vague appeal to some kind of system of ethics. I won't call it utilitarianism because it's probably like not, it doesn't fully.
That's the philosophical stereotype of what every econ major is just a boring utilitarian who can't actually think.
Yeah, and that's probably not exactly an accident, right? Like I'm sure there's at least a grain of truth to that. But I think probably having a greater understanding of like utilitarian ethics and like where that comes from would probably do everyone a pretty big favor.
Yeah. If nothing else, just some ethics courses and being exposed to different views on ethics would probably be good. But I also think that definitely some epistemology would be good. But I think epistemology would be good for everybody. I don't know. I mean, that's just my bias having studied what I studied. I mean, everyone from every major would say a little bit of this would help everyone. So I don't know.
Dude, it kind of seems like epistemology. I mean, if I could design some kind of like theoretical, like 4-year college course, would be like required year one shit. And I'm kind of like, I mean, it's never too late, et cetera, et cetera. But it seems like building out from the foundations of what we know, how we know, like, all right, in high school, like you learned all this shit. Now we're going to talk about like, you know, how we know what we know before we like move forward any further. I don't know. That seems like
what it means to know something.
Yes. What is knowledge?
Yeah, it is a question. I mean, it might not be required because no one has any fucking clue. No one can give a good answer that can't somewhat easily be come across like almost any of the major philosophical thinkings on epistemology. Like, it's not too difficult to give some thought experiments that make them seem plausible. But in a way, as is the case, as is also true with any sort of the big, ethical theories. So I don't know. It might all just be mumbo jumbo bullshit nonsense. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, dude, I've been thinking about that a lot. I've been getting high and watching space videos before I go to bed, and I sometimes ask myself the question of like, what if everything we think we know about this is just like wrong? Now, granted, I don't know. It seems incredibly unlikely that would be the case, because it seems like current models have led to pretty good predictive power. But for philosophy, I mean, hey, I don't know. Are there means of empirically testing that shit, or is it just like?
Yeah. So the way that philosophers tend to answer that question, right, is that we and other disciplines will have very strong objections to this definition of philosophy. But just for the sake of argument, just pretend that we can accept it as true. Imagine philosophy as a very, to way oversimplify it, it's sort of like the science of that which is unobservable. So non-philosophers tend to have a really strong negative reaction to that definition, and particular like traditional STEM people have a very strong negative reaction to that definition, because it sounds inherently contradictory. But in that sense, right, because what we're talking about here is not observable, it sort of necessitates that we can't verify it or make progress in it in the way that you can in traditional science. That even if one were to arrive upon some notion of truth, no one would be able to prove it in any way other than doing philosophy, and just like talking. And so the way we say, okay, yes, where it's very clear that philosophy has made great strides is actually where we remove ourselves from the discipline and just look at generational progress and the notion of thinking better over time, and just the way we think about everything. You could also make an argument, and this is a common one too, that once something becomes sort of a way of viewing the world becomes undisputed fact, it then branches off and is no longer a philosophical topic. And it branches off into
Gotcha.
For a while. You imagine what current day, what we consider to be a very hard science in astronomy, for a very long time was purely philosophical. And that was the only way to talk about it, was to try and logic our way into understanding what was in the stars and what was in the sky at night. And now it's something we would consider a very hard science insofar as what's actually out there. And so that's where we view ourselves as a way of progress, is that you can't, it's a weird discipline that you can't look just at the discipline itself to see any notion of progress in it. You have to actually look at
Gotcha.
everything else outside of the discipline.
Like the downstream effects of philosophy in
of
order
just,
to
like,
actually
thinking
determine.
better. And,
Gotcha.
like, how social progress and economic progress and this, that, and a billion other things. Anyways, isn't that fun? I feel bad. I feel like we talk way more about philosophy than econ.
Yeah, dude.
You could own me on a lot of econ, but the
I
thing
don't
is, like, I couldn't keep up at all. And in theory, anyone can kind of talk about, like, ideas.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I think if there's actual stuff that you want to talk about, I haven't engaged with it actively in too long. I'm trying to get back into it. I'm thinking about getting into the Twitch debatosphere. And then I'd have to be a lot more on top of my shit. So I don't know. I feel like it'd be a potentially fun project. But hey, fuck it. We'll see about that.
Yeah.